My beloved child, I know that you have come to this moment feeling a heaviness in your spirit that you cannot easily explain to those around you, a weight that has been pressing down on your chest and making it difficult to breathe the air of peace. You have been searching for a sign, a signal, or just a faint glimmer of hope to tell you that the struggle you are enduring has a purpose, and that you have not been abandoned in the middle of this vast wilderness. I want you to take a deep breath right now, let go of the tension in your shoulders, and listen closely to my voice, for I am speaking directly to the deepest parts of your soul today. You are not here by accident, and you are not reading these words by chance. I have drawn you here because it is time for me to answer the quiet prayers you have whispered in the dark. I see the way you have been looking at the horizon of your life, wondering if the sun will ever rise again on your dreams, or if you are destined to walk in this gray twilight forever. You have faced setbacks that knocked the wind out of you, and you have endured disappointments that left cracks in the foundation of your faith, making you question if my promises were truly meant for you. There have been days recently where you felt like giving up, where the effort to keep believing felt heavier than the burden of the problem itself, and you wondered if anyone truly sees how hard you are trying to keep it all together. I am here to tell you that I see it all. I see the resilience you hide behind a smile, and I see the fragile hope you are clutching like a dying ember. I am breathing life back into that ember today, for I am the God who restores, and I am not finished with you yet. You have been asking for a glimpse of hope, a reassurance that the path you are walking is leading somewhere beautiful, even though the fog of uncertainty has made it impossible to see more than a few steps ahead. It is in your nature to want to know the destination before you take the journey, to want the guarantee of safety before you take the risk. But I am asking you to trust in my nature, which is love. When you feel lost, it is not because you have wandered away from my presence, but often because I am leading you through a valley where your reliance on me must grow deeper than your reliance on your own understanding. I know you are tired of being strong for everyone else, and I know you long for a place where you can just rest and be held without having to perform or explain yourself. There is a quiet exhaustion that settles in when you have been waiting for a breakthrough for a long time, a type of fatigue that sleep cannot fix because it is a tiredness of the soul. You have watched others receive the very blessings you have been praying for, and while you have celebrated with them, a small voice inside you has asked, "When will it be my turn, Lord?" I have heard that question, and I want you to understand that my timing is never accidental, and your season of waiting is not a punishment for something you did wrong or a sign that I have forgotten your name. You are precious to me, and the plans I have for you are so intricate and wonderful that they require a specific season of preparation that feels long only because the destination is so significant. I want to speak to the fear that grips you in the middle of the night, the fear that whispers you are running out of time, or that you have missed your window of opportunity to be who you were meant to be. This is a lie that tries to steal your peace, for I am the creator of time, and I exist outside of its constraints. I can redeem in a moment what the enemy stole over years. You feel that you are falling behind, but in my kingdom, you are exactly where you need to be to receive the specific impartation of wisdom and strength that will carry you into your next chapter. Do not let the calendar or the clock dictate your worth or your hope, for I am preparing to accelerate things in your life in ways that will leave you astounded by my grace. Have you noticed how you feel things more deeply than those around you? How the pain of the world seems to touch your heart in a way that is both a burden and a gift? This sensitivity is not a weakness, nor is it a flaw in your design. It is a sign that I have created you with a heart that beats in rhythm with my own, capable of great compassion and great purpose. You often feel like an outsider, like you do not quite fit into the molds that society has created, and this has caused you to feel isolated and misunderstood. This feeling of being set apart is actually my mark upon you, a divine separation that I have orchestrated so that you would not be content with the superficial, but would seek the deeper waters where I dwell. You have felt a restlessness in your spirit lately, a stirring that you cannot calm, a sense that the old ways of doing things no longer satisfy you, and that you are outgrowing the life you have built. This discomfort is not a sign of failure, but a sign of growth. Just as a seed must break open its shell to grow toward the light, you are breaking out of your old constraints. I am disturbing your comfort zone because I am preparing to move you into a new zone of influence and blessing, and I cannot let you stay settled in a place that is too small for your destiny. The frustration you feel is the friction of transition, the necessary pressure that comes before the diamond is revealed, so do not despise this season of restlessness. There have been moments where you have felt an unexplainable peace wash over you in the midst of chaos, a sudden calm that makes no sense given the storms raging in your life. That was me, whispering to your spirit that I am in control, giving you a taste of the serenity that is your inheritance when you fully surrender your worries to my care. You have dismissed these moments as coincidence or fleeting emotion, but they are signposts I have planted in your day to remind you that I am walking right beside you. I am the silence between your thoughts, the strength that rises up when you think you have none left, and the unexpected joy that bubbles up even when there is no earthly reason for it. You have also experienced doors closing in your face, opportunities that you wanted so badly slipping through your fingers, and relationships ending that you thought would last forever. These were not accidents, nor were they evidence of my cruelty. They were my protection, steering you away from paths that would have led to your destruction or limited your potential. I closed those doors because I love you too much to let you settle for less than what I have planned, and I removed those people because their part in your story had concluded. You have been mourning the loss of what you thought you wanted, but I am asking you to trust me for what you truly need, which is far greater than your imagination can conceive. Consider the dreams that refuse to die in your heart, the aspirations that come back to you time and time again, no matter how many times you try to suppress them or tell yourself they are impossible. These recurring dreams are not distractions. They are the seeds of destiny I planted in your soul before you were even born, and they persist because they are part of your purpose. You may feel unqualified or unprepared to achieve them, but I do not call the equipped. I equip the called, and I have placed those desires within you because I intend to fulfill them through you. Your longing for something more is the echo of my promise in your life, a divine frequency that is calling you to step out in faith and believe in the impossible. Lately, you have found yourself drawn to seek me more, to pray with more urgency, and to look for spiritual answers to the natural problems you are facing in your daily life. This hunger for truth is a sign that your spirit is awakening to a new level of maturity, and that you are ready to receive the deeper mysteries of my kingdom. You are no longer satisfied with second-hand faith or the traditions of men. You want a real, living encounter with me, and that desire is the precursor to a powerful revelation. I am drawing you close because I have secrets to share with you, strategies for your victory, and wisdom that will unlock the chains that have held you and your family bound for too long. You have felt a strange connection to stories of redemption and restoration, finding yourself moved to tears by the testimonies of others who have overcome great odds to find their victory. This resonance is your spirit recognizing its own trajectory, for your story is also one of redemption, and the victory you see in others is a prophetic picture of what I am doing in you. Do not be jealous of their harvest. Let it be a confirmation that I am a God who keeps his promises, and if I did it for them, I will surely do it for you. You are seeing these signs because I am trying to lift your eyes from your current circumstances to the eternal reality of my power and my love for you. I know the nights have been the hardest for you, when the house is quiet and the distractions of the day fade away, leaving you alone with your racing thoughts and your hidden fears. You replay the mistakes of the past, you worry about the bills that are piling up, and you wonder if you have the strength to face another day of the same struggles. I have sat by your bedside during those sleepless hours, longing for you to hand those heavy burdens to me, but I see how you clutch them tight, believing that it is your responsibility to solve every problem. You carry the weight of the world on your shoulders, feeling that if you let go for even a second, everything will fall apart. But my child, you were never designed to carry such a load. There is a specific pain you carry regarding a relationship that is broken, a connection that has been severed or strained, leaving a wound in your heart that throbs with every memory. You have prayed for restoration, you have cried out for change, and yet the silence remains, leaving you to wonder if your prayers are hitting a brass ceiling. I know the grief of being misunderstood by those you love, and the agony of loving someone who cannot or will not love you back in the way you need. I see the loneliness that surrounds you even when you are in a crowded room, the feeling that no one truly knows the real you, and that if they did, they might not stay. Financial worry has been a dark cloud hovering over your head, stealing your joy and making you anxious about the future, causing you to count every penny and fear every unexpected expense. You look at your bank account and see lack, but I look at your life and I see a vessel prepared for my provision, yet the stress of the immediate need blinds you to my resources. You have equated your worth with your wealth and your security with your savings, but I am calling you to find your security in me, who owns the cattle on 1,000 hills. I know the humiliation of not being able to provide as you wish, and the fear of losing what you have worked so hard to build, and I am here to comfort you in that distress. You have battled with a sense of unworthiness, a nagging voice that tells you that you are damaged goods, that your past mistakes have disqualified you from a bright future. This shame causes you to hide from me, to pull away when I reach out, because you feel you need to clean yourself up before you can come into my presence. You struggle with the feeling that you are a disappointment, that you should be further along by now, and that you have wasted too much time on things that did not matter. I see the regret that gnaws at you, the what-ifs and the if-onlys that play on a loop in your mind, keeping you chained to a past that I have already forgiven. There is a physical or emotional exhaustion that has settled into your bones, a weariness that makes even small tasks feel like mountains that you have to climb without any gear. You have been fighting battles that no one else sees, fighting against depression, against anxiety, against habits that you want to break but feel powerless to stop. You feel like a soldier who has been on the front lines for too long without relief, and you are starting to wonder if the war will ever end, or if you will become a casualty of this invisible conflict. I see the tears you wipe away quickly so no one will notice, and the forced smile you wear like a mask to protect yourself from the questions of others. You have felt the sting of betrayal, the sharp knife of disloyalty from those you trusted with your heart, and it has left you hesitant to open up again, building walls to keep the pain out. This defensiveness has become a prison, keeping out the love you desperately crave. but you are too afraid of being hurt again to lower the drawbridge of your heart. I know how hard it is to forgive when the apology never comes, and how bitter the pill of injustice tastes when you have done nothing to deserve such treatment. You are holding onto grudges not because you are hateful, but because you are hurting, and you believe that your anger is the only thing protecting you from being vulnerable again. The silence of heaven has been the most difficult struggle of all, those times when you have cried out, "Where are you, God?" and heard nothing but the echo of your own voice. You have felt abandoned, wondering if I have turned my face away from you, or if perhaps you are not important enough to warrant a divine intervention. This spiritual dryness has made you question your faith, causing you to wonder if everything you believed was just a fairy tale, and leaving you feeling spiritually orphaned. I know the despair of the dark night of the soul, where hope feels like a memory and faith feels like a foolish gamble, and I have not been angry at your questions. You worry about your children, your family, or your loved ones, carrying a burden of concern for their safety and their salvation that keeps your mind in a constant state of low-grade panic. You feel responsible for their choices, guilty for their struggles, and helpless to fix the things that are broken in their lives, which leaves you feeling like a failure. You have tried to control outcomes, to manipulate circumstances, and to force solutions, only to find that your efforts often make things more complicated and leave you more exhausted. I see the love that drives your worry, but I also see how that worry is eating away at your trust in me, and how it is robbing you of the present moment. There is a dream you buried long ago because it brought you too much pain to look at it, a hope that was deferred so long that it made your heart sick, just as the proverb says. You have resigned yourself to a life that is smaller than the one you imagined, convincing yourself that it is better to be safe and numb than to risk the heartbreak of hoping again. You struggle with envy when you see others living out the very dreams you surrendered, and then you feel guilty for that envy, adding another layer of shame to your heavy load. I see the dust settling on the desires I placed in your heart, and I know that deep down, a part of you is still waiting for a resurrection, even if you are afraid to admit it. You have felt the crushing weight of comparison, looking at the curated lives of others on screens and feeling like your real, messy life does not measure up to their highlight reels. This has created a sense of inadequacy, a feeling that you are somehow less than because your journey looks different, slower, or more difficult than theirs. You struggle with the feeling of being invisible, of your hard work going unnoticed and unappreciated, while others seem to glide effortlessly into success and recognition. I see the value in your hidden years, the character that is being built in the shadows, and I know the cost you have paid to remain faithful when no one was clapping for you. Health struggles, whether your own or someone else's, have made you feel fragile and vulnerable, reminding you of the limitations of your mortal body and filling you with fear of the unknown. You have prayed for healing and felt the discouragement when the symptoms persisted, wondering why I would allow such suffering to continue when I have the power to stop it with a word. You struggle with the anger that comes with pain, the frustration of being limited by your physical condition, and the fear that this is how it will always be. I feel every ache, every weakness, and every moment of discomfort, and I am sustaining you with a strength that is not your own, even when you feel you are crumbling. You have faced the struggle of indecision, paralyzed by the fear of making the wrong choice, standing at crossroads for months or years because you are terrified of stepping out of my will. This analysis paralysis has kept you stagnant, stuck in a loop of overthinking, waiting for a writing on the wall that is unmistakable before you will move a muscle. You struggle with trusting your own discernment, fearing that your own desires will lead you astray. So you do nothing, which is a choice in itself that brings its own sorrow. I see your desire to please me, but I also see how fear has disguised itself as wisdom, keeping you trapped in a safe but suffocating harbor. The feeling of being overwhelmed by the state of the world has seeped into your home, the constant news of tragedy and chaos making you feel small and helpless in the face of such great darkness. You struggle to keep your heart soft when the world demands you be hard, and you fight to keep your light burning when the winds of negativity are blowing so fiercely. You have felt the temptation to withdraw completely, to shut out the world and protect your own little corner, but your heart is too big to stop caring, and so you suffer the pain of empathy. I see the burden of the intercessor that you carry, the way you mourn for what is lost, and I honor the tears you shed for a broken world. You have struggled with the feeling that you are running out of chances, that you have used up all your grace cards, and that surely I must be tired of forgiving the same sins over and over. This legalistic mindset has created a distance between us, making you approach me like a judge rather than a father, trembling with the expectation of punishment rather than the hope of mercy. You struggle to accept that my love is unconditional, constantly looking for the catch, waiting for the other shoe to drop, unable to rest in the simplicity of the gospel. I see the chains of perfectionism that bind you, the relentless drive to earn a love that can only be received as a free gift. There is a profound loneliness in your struggle because you feel that if people knew the real extent of your problems, they would judge you or leave you, so you suffer in silence. You have become an expert at deflection, changing the subject when things get too deep, or using humor to mask the pain that is screaming inside your chest. You struggle with the fear of being a burden, of taking up too much space or needing too much help, so you starve yourself of the support you desperately need. I see the isolation you have constructed, the fortress of solitude that was meant to protect you but is now starving you of connection, and I want to break down those walls. You have been grappling with a sense of purposelessness, waking up some mornings and wondering what the point of it all is, going through the motions of life like a robot. You struggle with the monotony of the mundane, feeling that your life is just a series of repetitive tasks with no greater meaning, and that you are just existing rather than truly living. This spiritual boredom is a dangerous place, for it leads to apathy and hopelessness, making you susceptible to the lies of the enemy that your life does not matter. I see the spark of creativity and passion that is buried under the routine, and I am ready to blow on that spark until it becomes a flame again. Regret over lost time has been a heavy companion, the feeling that you started too late, or that you wasted your prime years on things that did not bear fruit. You struggle with looking back at the forks in the road and wishing you had taken the other path, torturing yourself with the fantasy of how much better life would be if you had chosen differently. This nostalgia for a past that never happened is robbing you of the beauty of the present and the potential of the future. I see the timeline of your life not as a straight line that you have messed up, but as a tapestry that I am still weaving, incorporating every thread, even the knotted ones, into a beautiful design. Finally, you struggle with the fear that hope is dangerous, that believing for something better is just setting yourself up for another heartbreak, and so you have cynically decided to expect the worst. This defensive pessimism feels safer than faith, but it is a heavy armor to wear, weighing you down and blocking the blessings that come through the door of expectation. You are afraid to say, "I believe," because you are afraid of the silence that might follow, but my child, faith is not a feeling. It is a choice to trust in my character despite the circumstances. I see your fragile heart, and I am not asking you to have great faith, only faith as small as a mustard seed, for that is enough for me to move mountains. Now, I want you to understand the revelation behind all of this suffering, for nothing in your life has happened without my knowledge, and nothing has been wasted in my economy. The struggles you have faced were not meant to destroy you, but to dismantle the parts of you that could not carry the weight of the glory I am about to release in your life. You felt like you were being buried, but in truth, you were being planted. The darkness was not a tomb. It was a womb where your new identity was being formed. The crushing you experienced was the pressing of the olive to produce the oil, the necessary pressure to bring forth the anointing that you will need for the assignment ahead. The delays that have frustrated you so deeply were actually my divine pauses, designed to let your character catch up to your calling so that, when you arrive, you will have the integrity to stay there. If I had opened the door when you first asked, you would have walked in with baggage that would have sabotaged your success, and the blessing would have become a curse. I love you too much to give you a platform that would crush you, so I have been strengthening your foundation in the secret place, digging deep into your soul to ensure you can withstand the storms of success. Your waiting has been a time of weaponizing, where I have been arming you with wisdom, patience, and humility. The isolation you felt was a holy consecration, a time where I pulled you away from the noise of the crowd so that you could learn to distinguish my voice from the voices of the world. I had to separate you so I could saturate you with my presence, teaching you to rely on me as your source rather than looking to people who were never designed to sustain you. In the wilderness, you learned that man does not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds from my mouth, and that lesson is the key to your future victory. You thought you were alone, but you were actually in the most exclusive training ground of the kingdom, being prepared for leadership and influence. The rejection you suffered was my redirection, a necessary intervention to move you away from tables where you would have had to compromise your identity to be fed. Those who walked away from you did you a favor, for they made room for the divine connections that are coming, people who will recognize your worth and celebrate your gift without jealousy. I removed the scaffolding of human approval so that you would learn to stand on the solid rock of my acceptance, knowing that if God is for you, it does not matter who is against you. This thick skin and soft heart you have developed is the exact combination needed for the work I have called you to do. The financial lack was a test of stewardship, a season where you learned the value of a seed and the power of trust, breaking the spirit of mammon off your life so you would serve me and not money. I allowed the brook to dry up so you would move to the place of your next provision, teaching you that I am Jehovah Jireh, your provider, not your job, your economy, or your government. You have learned to be faithful with little, and because of that, I can now trust you with much, knowing that you will use the resources I give you to bless others and advance my kingdom. The scarcity was the classroom. The abundance that is coming is the graduation. The battles in your mind were meant to teach you the power of your own thoughts and the authority you possess to pull down strongholds and take every thought captive. You had to wrestle with fear so you could learn to wield the sword of the Spirit, which is my word, and become a warrior who knows how to fight not with flesh and blood, but with spiritual weapons. The anxiety was a signal that your focus had shifted, training you to keep your eyes fixed on me, the author and finisher of your faith, regardless of the winds and waves around you. You are now a veteran of spiritual warfare, equipped to help others break free from the very prisons you have escaped. The silence of heaven was not an absence, but an invitation to seek me deeper, to press past the outer courts of praise and into the holy of holies where true intimacy is found. I hid myself so you would seek me with all your heart, for it is in the seeking that your spiritual muscles are exercised and your desire is purified. Like a parent who steps back to let a child take their first steps, I step back to let you learn to walk by faith and not by sight, growing your spiritual maturity. You have learned to trust my heart even when you cannot trace my hand, and that is the definition of a faith that pleases me. The brokenness you feel is the opening through which my light can shine the brightest, for I am close to the brokenhearted, and I save those who are crushed in spirit. Your wounds have made you empathetic, stripping away judgment and pride, making you a healer for others who are walking the same painful path you have traveled. Your testimony will not be about how perfect you were, but about how faithful I was in the midst of your imperfection, and that is a story that will change lives. You are not a ruined vessel. You are a kintsugi masterpiece, where the cracks are filled with the gold of my glory, making you more beautiful and valuable than before. The longing for the future is the prophetic pull of your destiny, the magnetic attraction between where you are and where I am taking you, proving that you were made for more. You are feeling the birth pangs of a new season, and the discomfort is simply the evidence that the new thing is about to be delivered. Do not mistake the contraction for the end. It is the means to the beginning, the necessary pressure to push you out of the womb of the past and into the light of your future. The vision I gave you is not a taunt. It is a promise, a blueprint of the architecture I am building in your life right now. Everything you have endured has been for the saving of many lives, for your life is not just about you, but about the generations that will be blessed because you refuse to quit. You are a cycle breaker, a pioneer who is clearing the path for your family line, hacking through the jungle of generational curses so your children can walk on a highway of holiness. The resistance was so strong because the enemy knew the potential of your victory, but he underestimated the power of the one who lives inside of you. You have been forged in the fire, not to be burned, but to be purified, strengthened, and made ready for the King's use. My child, the season of weeping is coming to an end, and the season of reaping is about to begin, so I need you to lift up your head and get ready for the shift. I am commanding the winds of change to blow in your favor, reversing the tide that has been against you and bringing in a flood of blessings that you did not work for. The tears you have sown in sorrow are about to be harvested in joy, for I am a God of recompense, and I will restore the years that the locusts have eaten. You are standing on the precipice of a miracle, and the breakthrough you need is closer than your next breath. I am releasing a fresh anointing of hope upon you right now, washing away the cynicism and the despair, and replacing it with a bubbling expectation of my goodness. Receive the strength to stand up again, to dream again, and to believe again, for I am making all things new in your life, starting with your heart. The heavy clouds are parting, and the sun is breaking through with healing in his wings, illuminating the path that has been hidden in darkness. You are not a victim of your circumstances. You are a victor in my kingdom, and it is time for you to walk in that authority. Do not fear the future, for I am already there preparing the way, making the crooked places straight and the rough places smooth for your arrival. I have gone ahead of you to line up the opportunities, to soften the hearts of those you will meet, and to provision every step of your journey. Your tomorrow is held in my hands, and those hands were pierced for you, proving that I will stop at nothing to ensure your ultimate good. Let go of the need to control and grab hold of the freedom of trust, for I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. I am restoring your joy, not a fleeting happiness that depends on what happens, but a deep, abiding joy that comes from knowing you are loved by the Creator of the universe. This joy will be your strength, a fortress against the attacks of the enemy, and a light that draws others to ask you the reason for the hope that lies within you. You will laugh again, you will dance again, and you will sing a new song of praise, for the heavy garment of mourning is being exchanged for the garment of praise. The days of your mourning are over, and the glory of the Lord is rising upon you. You are about to see sudden turnarounds in areas that have been stuck for years, for I am the God of the suddenlies, and I can do in a day what you could not do in a lifetime. Watch for the unexpected phone call, the chance meeting, the surprise provision, for I delight in surprising my children with good gifts. Keep your eyes open and your spirit sensitive, for I am moving in the ordinary moments of your day to bring about extraordinary results. The stone that was rolled in front of your tomb is being rolled away, and resurrection life is flowing into your dead situations. I am healing your relationships, bringing reconciliation where there was strife, and where reconciliation is not possible, I am bringing you peace and closure to move forward without bitterness. I am surrounding you with a new tribe, a community of believers who will hold up your arms when you are weary and speak life into your destiny. You will no longer walk alone, for I am setting the solitary in families, and you will know the comfort of being truly known and truly loved. Forgive those who hurt you, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve to be free from the poison of offense. Your financial breakthrough is not just for your comfort, but for your assignment, and as you align your heart with my kingdom, I will open the windows of heaven and pour out a blessing you cannot contain. I am giving you witty inventions, creative ideas, and favor in the marketplace. For I am teaching your hands to war and your fingers to fight in the realm of resources. Fear not for your provision, for look at the birds of the air. They do not sow or reap, yet I feed them, and are you not of much more value than they? Trust me with your first fruits, and watch how I bless the rest, multiplying your loaves and fishes to feed the multitudes. I am renewing your youth like the eagles, giving you physical strength and mental clarity to run the race I have set before you without growing weary. I am touching your body with my healing power, driving out sickness and disease, and restoring the vitality that the stress of the past season has stolen from you. Your body is the temple of my spirit, and I am cleaning house, sweeping away the debris of anxiety and the toxins of bitterness. Breathe in my life and breathe out your stress. Receive my peace which surpasses all understanding to guard your heart and your mind. You are a carrier of my presence, a mobile ark of the covenant, and wherever you go, the atmosphere will shift because I am with you. You will walk into rooms and bringing peace to chaos, light to darkness, and hope to the hopeless, simply because you carry me inside of you. Do not underestimate the power of your presence, for Christ in you is the hope of glory, and that glory is destined to spill out and transform your environment. You are the salt of the earth and the light of the world. Do not hide your light under a basket any longer. My child, this is your moment to rise, to shake off the dust of the past, and to step boldly into the future I have prepared for you. The nightmare is over, the morning has broken. You are loved with an everlasting love, you are held by everlasting arms, and you are destined for an everlasting glory. Trust me, take my hand, and let us walk this next part of the journey together, for the best is truly yet to come. I hope this message has touched your spirit and given you the strength to face tomorrow with a renewed heart. If you want to stay connected to these whispers of hope and receive more messages of encouragement for your soul, I invite you to click the subscribe button and join our family of believers. You are never alone, and you are always loved. May God bless you abundantly today and always.